Welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to talk about rankings and I'm going to show you some sites ranking. I've actually got 3 sites to show you, and I wanted to show you one new site, one sort of medium site that I've gone back to. So if you've got sites that you've left for a little while and you've still got to go back to, it should inspire you. And I've also got a site in a really high competitive niche, a high competition niche that's doing really well, and to show you that as well. So the first thing I would say, when you're trying to rank, remember that we're just dealing with SEO. So I've worked with SEO going right back to 2003, 2004. I also do SEO a lot for companies. So when we're dealing with Amazon sites and all of that stuff, it's very easy to get into building niche sites and sort of thinking that's all there is. The SEO strategies I use on the niche sites, like you're viewing on your screen here, are pretty much exactly the same as I'd use for big companies that I've ranked as well. So a key thing I would say to you with all of this stuff is when you're trying to rank a site, it's just SEO. So if you have a good SEO grounding, if you understand how that works, you will rank. And to give you a little tip, something that will really help, the key principle, I know we could get into technical SEO and how to set the site up and the page loading speed and the plugins and all of the stuff you need, but the key principle behind it that will really help you and has helped me is you're just providing quality information for an audience. So I'll just give you a quick look, and then we'll have a look at this site and we'll have a look at some higher competition niches as well. So this site has got, let me just show you this, okay? So this site has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it loads, here we go. 6 pieces of content. So this site is a case study site that I've got updates for you for this, but I'll just show you the stats of this. This is a pure and simple Amazon site with reviews on. Okay, so this is a really good example of sort of the review update and why not to be that worried. The content's good, long content, and all you know, set out as I teach and SEO'd properly. Okay, so assuming you're doing that, all set up correctly, I'll just show you the stats of this and it will give you a good idea of a site starting out, what it begins to look like. Okay, so here's the stats off of that site. 6 pieces of content, which is nothing. More than 10 clicks, it's just this takes a while to update, but let's just go off these stats. 10 clicks, 425 people have seen this site, 2.4% click-through rate, average position of 72.3. The site did not exist on February the 5th. Okay, so you can see, and also a little disclaimer, I've updated this site ridiculously slowly. So 6 pieces of content is nothing at all. So even off 6 pieces of content, the time it takes you to rank and get indexed with good content is relatively quick. It does depend on the niche, but because it's just product reviews on the site, we are ranking for 73 keywords currently for that site. Okay, so nothing groundbreaking, but a brand new site. This is part of a case study I'm doing as well, so I'll show you that site as I'm updating it. It's got content to go on it as well, so I'll try and speed up those updates. Let me show you a sort of more like a bigger site now. Okay, so this is a slightly larger site, and this is a site, the reason I wanted to show you these stats is you see over here on the sort of from about this point here, you can see the site was left and just sat there. So if you've got sites, niche sites, Amazon sites, SEO driven sites that you've left, it's a good idea to go back and start updating them, because you can see from the work being done about here, look how it's affected the clicks and the sales as well. This has got sales. This is in a really competitive niche. This is actually in the sex industry. Not as bad as that, but like sort of male enhancement niche and stuff like that. So ridiculously competitive. But even this one targeting, I'll talk about what to target as well to even in a competitive niche, but I'll just show you this, and you can see here the impressions have shot up and the clicks are going up and it's going in the right direction. And then as you add more, I'll talk about how to do it in just a second, but I just wanted to show you a few of these sites. So really competitive niche there, just starting to move up, 19,000 impressions for that one and getting clicks, and it's just been left pretty much, that one. So if you've got sites that are left, there's some inspiration to go and start building them up. That's only had work on it from about February, and it quickly gets the ball rolling again. Okay, so here we go. All the way to a site like this. Now this is actually a site in the loan industry. So the reason I'm showing you really competitive niches is because when you're trying to rank sites, when you're just talking about niche sites and some of the niches I'm giving and some of the keywords which I'll explain in just a second, they're relatively easy compared to these niches that I've just mentioned. Like loans is really competitive, and insurance and stuff like that. And this one's ranking, it's had 2.42 million impressions, it's getting clicks, it's getting applications for this site, and the strategies to rank this site are exactly the same as I talk about in niche sites. The only difference is obviously the contents to target people looking for loans and stuff like that. Okay, so just bear in mind that when you're SEOing a site and when you're building a site out, it's all the same stuff. So let's talk a little bit about, now we've had a look at a starter site with 6 pieces of content and a slightly more competitive, well, quite competitive niche, and then a really competitive niche. Let's talk a little bit about how to get your rankings and what you have to do with the keywords. So here we go. Okay, so I won't make this a really long video, but I just want to talk about what you can do if you want to get rankings, because not just working with niche sites, but working with companies, probably the biggest question you get is how long does it take to rank, and can you rank for any niche? Here's the thing to remember. So I'll talk about niche sites and then I'll talk about going into bigger niches and so on. When you build a site, the first thing that you want to do is get it indexed. You need to have good technical SEO. So we're going to get fancy with the sort of terms. Technical SEO is anything to do with the page loading and the theme you're using and the sitemap setup and the technical running of the site. So another way you could say it is technical SEO is anything to do. Oh, and by the way, guys, if you're watching this and you sort of watch through and you want more of a guide with SEO and so on, check out the link below. I've dropped this link below. It will give you a step-by-step course on exactly how to build niche sites with video courses. So do check that out. It's free and you'll get a 5-day course. It shows you exactly how to build niche sites. So I'm running through now, but if you want a step-by-step guide, check it out below. It will really help you. And you can just opt into that and you'll get a video a day that shows you how to do this stuff. But as I was saying, you want to have good technical SEO. You want to have that set up correctly. Make sure that you have all of your technical SEO in place. So a good, if not just niche sites either, if you've got a website and it's a business website, make sure it runs, make sure you've got a blog on it, make sure it's loading correctly. Then what you want to have is you want to have a good structure in terms of content. Niche sites, we tend to do product reviews and then branch out into keywords. If you were a business, what you want to do is find all of the keywords that people type in to find you and then branch down from those keywords. So I'll give you a really great example. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'll use a niche that I've just given away earlier. If you're watching this video, you can check it out in a previous video, and I want to give you some information that will help you to rank for that based on what I've just shown you. So when you're looking at these keywords, it's not a case, here's the thing, so we're clear, it's not a case that you can go into a niche and you can start writing content today and you can put like 10 well-written articles on your site and then start appearing on Google next week. That, I know you know that, but just so we're clear, that's not the way SEO works. What you would do is you would target as much as you can, like this custom wedding dress, 5,300 searches, only 28 keyword difficulty. Easy, okay? But that doesn't mean because it's easy that it's you're just going to write the content and be there. Here's the key thing that you want to remember. You want to have enough content on your site interlinking. So let me give you a picture of how this would work. Let's say we had a site and it was customweddingdresses.com. your one-stop solution to finding your perfect dress for the perfect day, something like that. Okay, and then you had on that site everything that someone would want to know about wedding dresses, and about how to pick it, and about sizing, and about different styles, and about and so on. And you mapped out the content for 40 or 50 well-written articles. And of course, do your keyword research and pick ones like this, but you have to formulate an informative article from that. So you wouldn't just write the article and put, if you're looking for a custom wedding dress, there are a few custom wedding dress designs that you should look at. When you want to look for a custom wedding dress design, you wouldn't do that. You would write in an informative sense and find out exactly what people want to know when they're looking for a custom wedding dress. So it does require research and it requires time. And the main thing I'm saying is the content is key, one of the keys. You want to make sure that you've got really, really good content, and you want to make sure that you've got enough content on there with tracking, like I've shown you off the Search Console. So you want to make sure that you're tracking your results and you're seeing the keywords that you're building up on. And what will happen is, as you start to put content, like I showed you with the example site there with only 6 pieces of content, as you put the content on over the next weeks, you'll see that you start to get picked up for phrases, but you won't be ranking. Okay, you keep adding content, keep interlinking it, and the terms that you originally started on raise up, and that can take anywhere, depending on the niche, from 3 weeks. I've like the Bud Lee jump rope site that I've shown over. I've shown sites for 11 years on this channel, so check out over my videos if you want to see examples of that. The Bud Lee jump rope site was ranking within 2 weeks. The lifeboat one, some of you will remember that was ranking within about 3 weeks. The Jessica Simpson hair extension site, that was ranking, that took a couple of months to rank. But in terms of getting those positions that bring in traffic, bear in mind that as you're building the site up, you're going to start to get traffic anyway. I've shown you 2 examples today of relatively small sites, 6 pages, that are getting traffic and getting clicks. So the key thing is a good content plan. But I just wanted to give you some tips for SEO, to show you some real examples of sites ranking. And I've got more coming on the case study as well, so subscribe to the channel. And if you want a complete step-by-step of how to do SEO and how to get set up and so on, check out the page below this video and it will give you a step-by-step video course on how to do it. But the main thing is, so a quick run through, main thing is real content. I hope that makes sense. You can see some of my previous videos where I show you how to write real content. You basically want to write it as an informative article. So we wouldn't just write custom wedding dresses, how to pick a good custom wedding dress. You would write it for the actual where they need help. What is a custom wedding dress? What are the different makes? What are the different designs? What are the most popular designs? What are they made out of? How to get a good fitting? What are the sort of prices? So you look at a main keyword and you dive down into all the questions surrounding that keyword and write long form 4,000, 5,000 word articles on that. And that's how you really rank for more competitive niches and build up. It's a lot of work and a lot of time, but you consistently do that, and that's how you build up and rank any site. The time it will take you to rank does depend on your content, on your technical SEO, on the site layout, on your ability to write. Okay, you don't have to be the best writer, but it has to make sense, okay, grammatically and so on. And if you can do that, you will make sales as you are building up. So bear in mind, all I'm saying, like the too long didn't read sort of thing. I know you're not reading and you're watching a video, but the too long didn't read version is, when you're using these niches, when you're going into them, you have to have good SEO, you have to have a site, you have to be able to write content, and you have to be able to stay consistent so you actually get results. If you're not going to do that, you won't rank for anything, even if it says still easy on here. Okay, so pick a niche, one that you like, that's got custom made, you've got all of this here, but pick those keywords and start writing on it. And if I can rank for a lone site which is ridiculously competitive, you can rank for pretty much any niche. I ranked really, really high. Another example you'll find on the site is supercar hire. That's very, very competitive, ranked really high for that using social media and websites and SEO and so on. So I just wanted to give you some inspiration, and I've got the case study coming up for niche sites, but I also wanted to explain that niche sites are niche sites, but doing SEO for companies is more difficult. And I'll do more. If you're interested in more content around some of the companies I've done SEO for, let me know and I can cover that. But you can pretty much rank for most niches with a niche site because it's just an information based site. When you're dealing with like conversions, and you're dealing with like where you want people to go and businesses and different upsells and downsells that they've got on, it gets more complicated. But just dealing with niche sites, it's the consistency and having enough on the site with good SEO and managing your stats. Anyway, long video. Do get your 5-day free quick start below, and I'm going to do a case study. I'm going to update that case study. You can see that I'll link to it from this video if you want to watch part 1, and I'll speak to you really soon. Get your 5-day quick start below, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers guys.